All right, we are back. Thursday night, that can only mean one of two things. Not NFL football, but the FusionCast. Every Thursday here at 9 p.m. Eastern, I'm your host, Fusion64. Along with me is a man who loves Xbox so much that he lives in his Xbox onesie, and that is Rebel Blood 80. How you doing, sir?
Uh, I would like to clarify. I also painted my house Xbox colors,
Oh,
so I
green and white, huh?
live in an Xbox in my Xbox onesie. Actually, do you remember when they showed those off at some
And
trade show? The onesies.
you
I
just
actually wanted
you
one.
just went and got a drink before the podcast started. Did you get it out of your Xbox mini fridge?
I wish. Got it out of my normal fridge.
How's it going?
What's going on? It's going good. How's it going?
It's going. It's going. It's been a slow week in video games, but we got to talk about what everybody has been talking about, except for me because I haven't played it. But that is a small game called Starfield, Field of Stars, and I have some questions to ask you about this game.
Shoot. Not literally,
Is
but
it
shoot.
is it a good video game?
It is a good video game with major problems that people are overlooking because it's Bethesda.
Is it a game of the generation?
No, hell no.
No? Is it a game of the year?
Not even close.
Woo! Those are some spicy takes here. Those are some spicy
Yeah,
takes.
I could get a little bit spicier even if you want.
You should go for it.
It's a good game. It feels like Fallout in space,
Shocker.
but at the same time, it leaves one wanting. Like the space combat is very arcadey, not very simulation like, and this game being a space life sim, you would kind of want it to be a little bit more sim like. At least I would. And it's more of a space fast travel simulator than anything else. Because you're doing a ton of fast traveling.
What how many hours have you put into it, you think?
11.
11? Okay. I heard it gets really great after 20 or so hours.
Oh yeah, that's all games.
Right, totally. I heard
All
there's a
games are the
lot
best
of
when they have
lot
to
of
be.
loading supposedly in this game.
It's all the fast traveling.
Yeah.
See, I think Bethesda, the
Did they
developers, they're like, well, what do people do? They fast travel from spot to spot in Skyrim or from spot to spot in Fallout 4. That's all they do. They don't really go places, so we're gonna make that the primary focus. That's what I feel like happened.
fast travel
Yeah,
the
as soon
game?
as fast travel simulator the game, because
Oh
it does
man.
have some pretty long loading times, even on my super fast SSD.
I've seen it's even worse on Xbox, like the loading times are very long.
Well, this game is way worse on Xbox than on my
Have
rig.
have you tried it on Xbox or no?
No,
Oh yeah,
no,
cuz
I'm not
did you
gonna
buy it from
free up that much space.
did you buy it from Steam?
I bought it on Steam,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, gotcha. So,
Yeah,
did you start doing
I
the
don't know.
main
It's at the same
quests?
time, it's not a bad game. Yeah, I'm working on the main quest because everybody, if you see any YouTube video on out there, they're gonna say, finish the main quest first, then do everything else, because otherwise the game's a slog and really, really boring.
Uh,
And I don't think it's a slog or really, really boring because it's the same thing I would be doing in Fallout or Skyrim, busting into people's houses and just stealing everything that I could pick up, and then going and selling it. That's how I play those games, and that's kind of how I'm playing this game, except you become encumbered really fucking quick.
I've seen
And
a lot of
so
people complain
that's,
about the encumbrance.
yeah. And I think part of that is their bad interface. Like, I didn't know I was carrying gigantic ship parts in my inventory.
Mm.
If I had known that, I would have gotten rid of them way sooner. But there's a lot of minor problems with this game that really bother me, and everyone seems to talk about this game like it's an instant classic because it doesn't have all the Bethesda glitches that Bethesda games usually have upon release.
Now,
Like it plays
I
fine
will.
for me.
I'll play a devil's advocate. I think that I've seen a lot of people like kind of feel the way you feel, and then like I said, people. A lot of I swear, like a lot of people have said they hit that mark 15, 20 hours into the game where it was like, okay, it goes from like a 7 to like I don't know an 8.5 or something like that. At least that's what they like kind of said.
Maybe I am fast lining the main mission now just because I think it unlocks more for you to do by
Yeah.
doing that. Does that make sense? I
Yeah.
think it does. I don't have any confirmation because I'm avoiding spoilers.
Right. Right.
Even though the story's not grabbing me right yet, it's just, hey, go get this weird space stuff that seems to react when we gather them together.
I feel like I mean I don't know about this game, but I feel like Bethesda games would fare better with a stronger antagonist, really.
Well, they tried that with Fallout 4, right? They voiced your main character, and I don't think a lot of people like that. I didn't mind
I'm
it.
talking antagonist, not protagonist.
Oh,
A villain.
okay. The villain.
Yeah, like I mean, at least I
Um,
mean, yeah, I don't care about your created character. I feel like they really should work on having a stronger
but that's just it, right?
villain.
It's your tale, and they often give you multiple groups that could wind up being the bad guy for you,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah, because you
Like the
could
best
make
example,
different ways in Fallout 4. Like could end up being like your antagonist. Basically, that's right. I forgot.
right? Like you're either with the synthetics or you're with
Yeah.
the against the Brotherhood of Steel. The best example of this is not even a Bethesda game, and that's Fallout New Vegas,
Okay.
where you
I
were
didn't
able
play.
to.
I only played like the first couple hours of that one. I think on backwards
Really, that is
PC.
the best Fallout game.
Fallout 4 was the first Fallout that I gamed, and I loved it. A lot of people don't like it. I loved it.
I fell off of Fallout 4.
I
You
beat
could not
that,
keep my
and
attention.
then the first expansion, and then I had enough of it.
Oh, you need to play New Vegas.
It's just,
It is the
it's
best
hard to go
Fallout game.
back to because it's all brown and gray. If it's from that era, it's like I need color now. I don't know what everybody was thinking during that era.
That is true. Even though a
I
lot of
really
things
hope
now
that they
seem to be
remake
brown
it.
and gray.
That
That
game
would be
needs a
nice.
remake.
Very possible being underneath the same umbrella now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft, do that. Stop making shit and do that.
I honestly, if I was them, I'd be like, okay, Obsidian, you are now making Fallout because they can't go. Obviously, Skyrim is going to be is next up, so that's like another 5 years from now.
Actually,
You're
the
not gonna
Indiana
see-
Jones game is next.
Well, that's
Todd Howard was just talking about that Indiana Jones game.
yeah, but Bethesda's not doing that. Who Wolfenstein team is doing that?
Okay, the way he was making.
Machine Games. I mean, he said he's like consulted on it or whatever, but Bethesda proper is not doing that. Machine Games is doing that.
Okay.
So, but I mean, they're
yeah.
working on Skyrim. You're not going to see Skyrim probably for another 5 years,
15 years.
probably, and so Fallout
Yeah.
another 5 to 6 years. So I wouldn't. If I was Microsoft, I'd be like, we can't go like another decade without another Fallout game. Somebody's got to be, and the best person to do that would be Obsidian.
Yeah, but they're already working on their Skyrim like with Avowed.
Right, I know. So, like, yeah, that would be. I would have them doing the next game, or at least like remaking since they did New Vegas, like remake New Vegas. Put
They
in
just need to get anything out at this point, man.
anything that's a Fallout needs to be coming out.
Well, I'm saying that, and Starfield just came out, so I'm not
Right,
making
yeah.
a lot of sense, but
Totally.
Starfield doesn't feel like an Xbox only game to me. It feels like classic Bethesda,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of the hate might come from PlayStation owners not being able to play the game.
Sure. More than likely, yeah.
At least a good portion of the hate.
Yeah.
Some of the hate is kind of outrageous. Like, should we just get into it? The pronouns.
You got to tell me about the pronouns.
So, I didn't notice them at first, and it didn't bother me, and it still doesn't bother me. I really don't fucking care about it. You were cracking jokes at me, but I was like, I don't care. But then I saw an argument that really resonated with me, and I was like, you know what? That makes sense because they're ham-fisting the pronouns into the story by having people talk about you in front of you. Like they will be like, "Did you ask he, him, them?" Or situations like that where it would be if we were all grouped up in a conversation and we were talking to each other, and I referenced somebody, I would be like, I would use their name, right?
Right.
So now it's like,
But they're not going to use your name because you're anybody basically.
which is true, but they're ham-fisting the situation in there to use those pronouns, which is distracting now to me. I really don't care about it at the end of the day because it's not offensive in any way. It just breaks the immersion. It's like when you recall you've seen the movie Braveheart, right?
Vaguely. I don't think I've seen the full thing.
Okay, so there's a scene in Braveheart where they've got like hundreds of warriors battling, right? And if you look closely, you could see a guy wearing his fucking Rolex watch or whatever.
Oh.
And after seeing it, you can't unsee it.
That's funny.
Right?
Yeah.
So every time that scene comes up, I see that watch, and I'm like, oh yeah, old Scotsman wearing his Rolex watch to battle. That's awesome. So it's like that. Every time it happens now, I can't unsee it, and I'm just like, wow, this is really fucking distracting now.
That's too funny.
I mean, it's not offensive.
They ruined the game for
immersion breaking for the sake of politics, which
the game has been ruined.
My opinion on that is politics should not be in video games unless it's a political game.
Well, maybe Starfield is a political game. You just don't know about it yet. Maybe that's the true ending of Starfield.
Maybe. It's gonna get me to change my opinion on things, huh?
It might, yeah. How is the shooting?
And then another thing that's very, it actually feels really good.
Yeah.
It is their best shooting game by far.
Are you playing on keyboard and mouse?
Never. I don't have the skills to do that.
So you're not a real PC gamer if you're not using keyboard and mouse. That's just, yeah.
I am not. I'm a pseudo PC gamer.
I couldn't do it either, WASD.
I can do it on some things, just nothing that's fast.
Yeah.
Shooter that requires me to remember, oh yeah, you gotta hit this button to crouch and stuff. Like, yeah, no. Especially with the jetpack, you're jumping around with a jetpack, shooting fools in the face with a space shotgun. Another thing that's distracting me in the game is NPC characters are ugly as hell.
I've seen some of them on Twitter. They do look very ugly. There's some very ugly
NPC
characters.
Extreme. I mean, on one hand, it kind of reminds me of the old PlayStation 1 with the pre-rendered backgrounds where, like, in Resident Evil, you knew you had to pick something up because it stood out from the background, right?
Yeah.
Because it was
it wasn't
a polygon or sprites on top of
paintings.
So in this game, you know what NPCs you need to talk to because they look better than all the NPCs around them. And you're like, oh yeah, I got to walk over here and talk to this guy because he looks more realistic and his head's not spinning around.
Oh yeah, this is an important person because it actually looks somewhat next gen.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
But it's okay. Is it worth me pre-ordering it? I don't think so.
No.
Maybe the story gets to that point, but so far, I'm just enjoying Skyrim in space, basically.
Do you feel lied to, like they sold you something that really the game isn't what they sold you?
Only part of that I feel that way is the space combat.
Okay.
Because what I thought it was going to be more sim-like. Because they made it seem like, I could be wrong and I could be misremembering this, but they made it seem like it was going to be like No Man's Sky, where you get in your spacecraft and you take off and you fly yourself. You fly yourself into space and you see that transition. Here, no, it's a loading screen.
So this isn't even No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is a more advanced game than Starfield.
Perhaps.
So if I was like, man, I really want to play Starfield, I should just download No Man's Sky right now and just play that instead.
Maybe. I never played No Man's Sky, so I don't know. Maybe it's the better game. I got to play it. It's always on sale, and I'm like, I'm going to pick it up this week, and I don't.
It probably is. I mean, they have worked on that game for like a decade. Or if
And it
probably
is
more than
quite
that.
literally always on sale.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not on sale now, it'll be on sale next month.
I think I'll be playing that in VR here coming up in the next month or two, maybe, or 3.
Oh yeah, did they do an update for that?
Yeah, I think we talked about it 1 or 2 podcasts ago where they
It does sound familiar.
yeah, they did like the next gen graphics because they launched it and the graphics were awful. Now I guess it's one of the best looking PlayStation VR 2 games. So
I can say so far I haven't run across any like strange deformed T-Rex space monsters that were in No Man's Sky when they released.
I read about that.
That
Yeah,
was pretty funny. Did you ever see the pictures of them? You should
yeah,
Google it and
I
see if
did.
there's any still out there. They were pretty hilarious, like giant chicken T-Rexes.
That is funny.
Although maybe this game would be better if it had those.
So does it have its hooks in you or not?
No, I really
No.
want to go back to Baldur's Gate 3. Actually.
Really? You know what? I have been like looking at that, and it just came out on PlayStation. Been seeing some people post some tweets, some pictures, and I'm like, I kind of want to check it out, but there's just not a lot of time.
You know what? There's pronouns and stuff like that in Baldur's Gate 3, but it's not ham-fisted in like it is in Starfield.
Yeah.
You don't have people talking around you, I guess is the best way to put it.
Right.
And so it's not distracting like it is in Space Rim.
Space Rim.
Called Space Rim.
That's a good name for it, Space Rim. Yeah, it looks good. We got Spider-Man coming up October 20th, Mario coming up October 20th.
Did you buy a ticket? Did you get your golden ticket?
My golden ticket for what?
To get Mario and Mario RPG for $100.
No, I buy physical. You know this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know this. Buy physical. Silly. No. Got all of that stuff coming. Like I just said, I got VR stuff that I want to play. I want to check out when the update hits on for what's it? Cyberpunk. It's supposed to rework a lot of the stuff in the game.
Cyberpunk is a better game than
Starfield.
Space Rim, I think. It's going to wind up being a better game than Space Rim.
I just want I've been playing too many sword games this year.
That's my prediction.
I need another shooty game, really. We've been hitting a lot of sword games.
You should buy an Xbox and play Starfield.
No, because then we got Cyberpunk for that. That's gonna be my shooty game.
Yeah, but shouldn't you have impressions on it for the Game of the Year podcast?
No, I shouldn't. I don't need it.
Because it's not going to be my Game of the Year, but it could be your Game of the Year.
I doubt it will be.
I know it's going to be a lot of people's Game of the Year. I don't think it deserves that praise.
It's not going to be it. I guarantee it wouldn't be in my Game of the Year. My Game of the Year is going to be spicy.
I didn't think Fallout 4 deserved Game of the Year, and it won.
Did it?
It didn't win Game of the Year, but it won Game of the Year award, so there was a Game of the Year edition of it.
Gotcha.
Or maybe some outlets out there gave it Game of the Year, but yeah, there's a Game of the Year edition of that game, and it didn't deserve all that. Matter of fact, I got that game on release, and it was a broken piece of shit.
There's just too many games.
On the original Xbox.
I've been thinking, I'm like, man, I should get an S. I've been like, maybe I should get an S. Maybe I'll get an S. And then it's just like, dude, there's just too much. I have more games is not a problem that I have. Like I have too much stuff to backlog to play and stuff coming up that I want to play. Like I have there's three different like chill games that I have between Power Wash, Vampire Survivors, and Brotato that I don't have time to get to all three of those. Not to mention like the stuff that I'm already playing and it's in the backlog that's coming up. Like I was looking through like what I was going to play next after Crisis Core, and I'm like, Yakuza. I have Yakuza Like a Dragon. I want to play that. I have that from PS Plus. I have Yakuza.
I want to play that new one coming out.
Yeah, because I was seeing like that one looks awesome. I was watching some trailers this week of that. I got Yakuza Kiwami 2 that I want to get to. A lot of Japanese stuff. I got Monster Hunter Rise on my downloaded on PS5, so I want to play that on there for a little bit and see how that is compared to the Switch. There's just a lot of stuff.
Better.
Yeah, a little bit better. Totally. So maybe I'll pick something, a weapon other than the longsword this time.
They have guns in that.
They do, but it's not fast-paced shooty. You use the
Right.
bow and arrow in that?
I do.
Yeah.
That's
How is it?
exclusively how I play.
Really?
I love it.
Nice. Might have to just
Yeah.
check that out.
Didn't you see the video I posted of me trying to use my Monster Hunter World skills that I forgot how to use, dancing around with the bow?
I did not. I don't think so.
I thought I sent it to you. I got a YouTube video out there of it.
Oh, a regular YouTuber now,
Uh,
huh?
no, it's old. I was running it at max settings and stuff like that, seeing how it would perform, and I was recording myself. I don't know. It was a good time, and it was, I don't know, a couple of years in between playing Monster Hunter World where I was really good with the bow, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I remember how to do this. I was getting my ass kicked a little bit here and there, but yeah, bow is awesome.
So, do you think you'll have a better chance of finishing Starfield, Zelda, or Final Fantasy 16?
Final Fantasy 16 because I was looking at it the other day.
Oh, you were.
Yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
You came by before you went on vacation. You saw my setup, and you were bashing where I had my PS5. So I have since reorganized things, and I have unleashed the beast.
Oh,
And the
you gotta let it
PS5
breathe.
is in an open aired plot where it could get plenty of air.
You gotta put it next to AC vent. You gotta have the fans blowing on it at all time. You gotta keep that baby nice and cool.
I hire somebody just to sit there with a fan and
There you go, and
waft
fan it.
cool air towards it. Yes.
Man, I'm just shocked on these opinions on Starfield. I was really thinking it's gonna be like, change your life.
No, I loved Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim. I freaking loved Oblivion. Even Morrowind. One of the reasons I bought an original Xbox was because of Morrowind, but I don't know, that maybe that gameplay's
Is it passed you by? Maybe.
not doing it for me anymore. Maybe.
I could see that. I could see that.
And I don't know, me getting older, maybe the flaws outweigh what is good with the game.
Right.
But I don't think it's bad. I think it's just serviceable. It's just not. I don't think it's worth the praise that everybody's giving it. But I also thought the same thing of Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, that's true.
That it is a good game. It's just not worth all the 10 out of 10s that people are giving it.
Is Baldur's Gate 3 more focused than Skyrim? Starfield? Like
100%.
okay.
It's got a narrative, and it's telling you that narrative. Where
Okay.
Space Rim, you're kind of creating your own narrative,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm in the middle of, well, not in the middle, but the beginning stages of like 6 different quest lines of people that are like, hey, you want to join my group?
Right, yeah.
And then another guy's like, hey, you want to join my group? And I'm like, yeah, I'm saying yes to everybody. And it should be conflicting joining these groups because one of these groups wants me to join and infiltrate the space pirates to get dirt on them. And then the other group is a bunch of like free traders that want me to go on bounty hunts to kill the same space pirates. And it's just a lot of conflicting storylines. It's maybe could use some more stream. Maybe I just like straightforward games nowadays.
Yeah, I
in
think
old
like
age.
that's where I'm at really.
Go
I
here,
don't know.
do this.
I think probably the only reason why I love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom so much is because it's Zelda. Probably, if it was like a different game, I probably would I would not have held on. I don't know.
Well, you also, those games, the Zeldas, the two new Zeldas.
There's
They
other
don't-
stuff to do. Really, they don't. There's not like you're not getting. You are getting a lot of quests, but like those are like you don't really need to do them. There's other gameplay things to keep you going.
You
There's
have
other
an
carrots on the
overall
stick.
narrative
Yeah.
for that game, whereas
Right.
this game, there's so many different side stories that it's like, I don't know what my overall goal is besides getting these artifacts, and all these people reaching out to me who don't know me from Adam are like, hey, you want to join my group? Whereas in Zelda, it's always, I gotta rescue Princess Zelda, or
It's always that. Yes, you're right. I
don't know how to
Princess Zelda.
articulate my thoughts on it,
No.
but
Yeah, I get it.
it's straightforward without being straightforward.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No. I concur.
Like you go into that world and you're like, yeah, this is what I gotta do, but I'm gonna run over to this mountain over here and see what's up on top of it, and then you find a sword like I did. and you never use the sword because you're like, man, it was hell climbing up that mountain to get that sword. I don't want to bust that sword.
Right, totally.
This was in
I
Breath of the
climbed up.
Wild.
Yeah, I climbed up here for this sword. I don't even want to use it now.
Yeah, it was one of the really high mountains in Breath of the Wild, and I climbed all the way up there, and there was just a sword sitting there. Not a very good sword, but it was my reward.
Speaking of Zelda, I guess the developers came out and there was a story that
We're done.
there
That's
are
it.
no DLC
No
plans.
DLCs.
They're moving on to a brand new
Finito.
project, which is good. That's good. I was maybe
Oh,
hoping
yeah,
for
you know what?
like I don't know if you ever played in Breath of the Wild the Master Sword like trials. Those were really awesome. I would have liked something like that, but other than that, really.
I have them, and I don't remember if I was working on them or not. It's been so long since I played that game.
Yeah, it's
But
almost
it added a lot of content
it
to it.
it did, yeah. But I mean, dude, there's so much content in Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, I could see you just start working on the next thing. We got to get going.
Which
you
you
know.
know what it needs to be?
What?
We need a Zelda-verse game. One where Link
Oh.
jumps between the different Zeldas.
That could be
That's how
interesting.
you improve upon this game. Yeah, Nintendo, pay me.
There you go. Got a job opening?
Well, they don't want to hire me. They just got to pay me for that one idea.
So, anything else on Starfield that you feel that you need to share?
No, combat feels good. Storyline, I don't know yet, just because I'm only 10 hours in. And like you said, you got to reach that 20-hour mark, brother.
Right, yeah, totally. You're going to continue playing it, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably be playing it right now if I didn't have to do
the shitty podcast.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe next week your thoughts will change. I don't know.
Maybe something will pop out, but I would really rather be playing Baldur's Gate 3, but I feel like I have got to complete Starfield. Speaking of which, this is the new format to the podcast we're doing, isn't it?
It is. We're going to start talking about the news first, and we're going to talk about what you're playing last. But you have been playing Starfield, and that's been the news of the week, so it kind of killed two birds with one stone there.
Yes, which is why it's not that new of a... Not this week.
But
stay tuned.
Further
next
week,
week.
Stay tuned. Same, yes. In other big news, really today, Nintendo, I guess, has unveiled the Switch 2 to developers. I don't know if did you see that story?
I heard something happened, but I did not get a chance to see it. It was a busy day. I didn't get to see it.
So
was that a picture of it on the thumbnail for the podcast?
Sure, that's why. Yeah. So I guess Eurogamer. We had rumors at Gamescom that Nintendo was showing off the Switch 2, whether it was like the actual retail unit or just a dev unit. But Eurogamer came out today and basically said developer presentations for the Switch 2 took place behind closed doors. One Switch 2 demo was a souped-up version of Switch launch title Breath of the Wild, designed to hit the Switch 2's beefier target specs. So that's kind of interesting. They had
So they're not even using
a port of
Tears of the Kingdom to show it off. They're going back to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then after that, like an hour later, VGC, which is Video Games Chronicle, said that a Switch 2 was demoed with the Matrix Awakens Unreal Engine 5 tech demo featuring DLSS, advanced ray tracing, and visuals comparable to Sony and Microsoft's current gen consoles. That was from VGC. That's really interesting.
Yay. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, that's very interesting if that is the case, because
you know how demanding ray tracing is, right?
Right.
And the handheld being able to perform ray tracing is insane, unless it does ray tracing only when dock. But you know what that would mean? That would mean that there's possibly a additional GPU on the dock.
On the dock, maybe.
I'm
or
eager to see more.
Just
but
because
what is the price of this going to be? With it being able to do all that,
right? Or just that's like a boost mode. They don't let you use the full power of it when it's not docked because it just destroys the battery. So I don't know. Maybe Nvidia's got some magic underneath there. I guess I don't know. DLSS, that sounds pretty neat. The digital, what is it? What does that stand for?
I know what it does, but I
It's the
don't know
art.
what it
It's basically
stands.
AI upscaling.
Yeah.
And then we had another one here from Universo Nintendo. I'm just going from Gaming Leaks and r/Gaming Leaks and Rumors. I think this person has been correct on some stuff before, but this is Universo Nintendo says the final Switch 2 hardware will feature 12 gigabytes of RAM and ray tracing. The Matrix demo used DLSS 3.1 and not 3.5. So 12 gigs of RAM possibly for the Switch 2. But I feel like a lot of times I've heard that dev kits actually have more RAM than what is actually in the system. So I figure
Yeah, they
it's going to be
generally do.
maybe around 8. We'll figure in the 8 to 12 range probably for RAM. So this guy might be pretty powerful. I don't think that on par with the PS5 and Xbox Series, but I mean, if it would, they don't necessarily said that it was like on par, but they said the graphics, on that Matrix demo were comparable. I mean, technically, at some games, the PS4 could be comparable to the PS5. Really, I mean, depending on how hard they're pushing it. But if
Yeah, there's just
if
really
that has
everyone to see more
DLSS,
of it,
if that thing uses DLSS, like any of these newer systems, the PS4 and PS5 don't have that on there.
which they should.
They're AMDs though, so I believe right. They don't even
Thought
use.
AMD had
They have
something.
the FSR.
Right, and do they use that? I don't
No,
know if
I've
they.
never heard of like any of their games. I honestly, some of Nintendo's games use FSR like 1.0. Like I know the 2.0 is was the newer one where it would upscale your stuff. But I know like Splatoon uses it FSR 1.0 and I think Zelda does, I believe. I know Splatoon 3 does. But yeah, that's pretty neat. Like it gets me kind of excited for this Switch 2 here possibly. If it's going
Yeah,
to be in the ballpark of PS4 Pro, maybe that would be nice.
but what are we paying for that power?
It's going to be
the other
400.
secret.
You can bet easily. It's probably going to be 400.
Well, hopefully they do it and they come out swinging and they get my money.
And they got the battery life is fairly decent. Hopefully,
Oh, it comes with a generator.
yeah. You just strap it on your back,
Drag it.
basically. Yeah, and that's how you play.
Exactly. You
That's
gotta
how you
have
play.
a person to pull start it on while it's on your back, and then
Like that Legion
it also
Go.
comes with air plugs.
So that
Yeah, no,
is our
that's interesting. I want to see more of it. When do you think they tell us about it?
beginning of next year.
Us, the consumer.
I think beginning of next year.
You think then?
Yeah, I think so.
Not Tokyo Game Show.
No,
You
they're
don't think
never.
gonna
They're
have a
never. They're,
director
they're
in
never at Tokyo Game Show.
Not there, but you don't think they'll have a direct while this game show's going on?
There's a rumor that a direct is next week, which they always have a September direct. But I don't think that they're going to like tell the consumers about this. They just unveiled that
And do you think
Mario
you're
Switch 1, so I don't think like they don't want to stifle holiday sales, so that thing's not getting talked about publicly till next year.
true? You're right.
Because it's gonna
You sir
all the
are
units
right.
are gonna sell out no matter when they talk about it.
Yep. I'm gonna have to beat up somebody in Target's parking lot
Right.
again.
Yep. Hit him over the head with a 2x4.
I just run them over. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
there you go.
Yeah.
Uh,
Then you hop out of the car while it's still in motion, and then they're like, "What happened?" And you just stroll up and you get yourself a Switch 2. Do not do this at home. I do not condone violence of any sort.
Maybe exciting news for you. They are working on a Final Fantasy 16 PC version, and it's supposedly not Epic Game Store exclusive.
Thank God.
Not.
I can't
So you
stand
might
that.
actually just be able to wait till that one comes out next year or the year after.
Yeah, play it at 120 frames per second
There you
instead
go.
of 30.
30, yeah. And there's they're
That
working on
headache-inducing 30.
2 DLCs. I didn't mind it at all. I got used to it.
Yeah, I did too. But if I go back to it right now, I might have issues with it for a little bit.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the 2 DLCs. Hopefully, it's better than the Final Fantasy 15 DLCs.
That's kind of exciting. I'm kind of hoping that you play as like Sid, and maybe it tells some backstory for Sid, or who knows, Jill. Maybe
I bet you hit the nail on the head with playing as Sid.
Yeah, they know like he's like a super popular character, so I feel like he's 100% gonna be one of them. Because I don't think it's gonna be Clive.
Yeah, because they're telling Clive's whole story.
They're telling Clive's whole story, and like I don't
You
know.
start out as a kid.
He doesn't.
Maybe they could do some as when he was first drafted into that slave army.
But like there won't be like an icon battle probably if it's like something prequel because he doesn't he's not an icon.
That's true.
So that's why I was thinking it's gonna be Sid and it'll be like episode Sid or episode Jill or maybe they even go with like a bad guy or something. Maybe they go episode Titan.
Making you play as a bad guy.
That would be neat. So like yeah, I think there's some pretty good possibilities for what these DLCs could be. Gets me like tickles me in the inside.
You're feeling moist.
Yeah, a little moist. So that's really it for the news this week. You got any more news stories?
No, I really haven't been paying attention to anything, so unfortunately, I do not have any news this week.
I guess we'll get into what I am playing, and I've really just been playing the same stuff. So it's gonna be a quick run through here. Still chugging along a little bit in Power Wash Simulator, but most of my time this week has gone through Crisis Core, and it's still pretty damn awesome. Gotta say, I love it. So I'm 60% through it with that, hoping to knock this out and beat this week. But I keep getting stuck on these side missions, and I just like the combat and the battle system. So
that's
a
cool.
solid
I need to
8
get
to 8.5 game.
Sometimes you just need those.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like a Starfield. It's like 8.7, 8.6.
Yes.
Nah, totally. I'm going to keep plugging away at that, hopefully, and then trying to figure out where I'm going to go after that because I want something that I can wrap up before Spider-Man. I was thinking of maybe just jumping to Pikmin 4 after this to see if I can wrap the 30 hours or so up before October 20th. So
that would be good.
Yeah, just when I start knocking some of these games out here that I've been collecting and not playing.
Yeah, I need to focus on that more too. And I kind of am with playing Starfield. And only Starfield.
Starfield and only Starfield. So is that the only thing you played this week with Starfield?
No, I did play some other stuff.
Yeah.
Was that all that you played this week?
That is it. I only played those 2 games and a little bit of Fortnite. The new Fortnite season is pretty good. I like it. They've added some new stuff. So that's really it.
Yeah, for me, all I've been playing is, as usual, just because it plays itself, Cookie Clicker.
Oh, boy.
And then when Cookie Clicker is not killing up the house. No, there's no killing in Cookie Clicker. Cooking. Yes, cooking. When Clicker is not cooking in the house. I've been playing Starfield. That's basically
would
it.
Starfield be is it earned a Rebel Recommends yet or no?
No.
No. Ooh, man. I guess I saw something that they said they crossed 6 million players so far today, I believe.
Yeah, it's doing really good.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. I mean, there was
a lot of people like it.
I think there was like 1 million. Was it 1 million concurrent players before, like when the expensive version was out or something like that, or it was 250,000 Steam concurrent players or something like that. But I mean, yeah, a lot of people bought the early I'm Rich Bitch edition,
The sucker version,
the sucker version,
the whale edition,
the whale
the
edition.
one I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I've been playing just a little bit of the Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster.
That's something I'd really like to play as well. I want to get Sea of Stars too. God, there's like so many damn good, awesome games that I want to play this year.
Yeah, there's so much I got to play. I have Sea of Stars, but I haven't played it. I haven't played any
Like
Armored Core.
Forspoken. I need to get that and play that.
Wait, weren't we just talking about good games?
But you know what's going to help that out is me
What?
getting through these games. Is when I can remote play those games from a dedicated remote play device wherever I go that has Wi-Fi.
Right. So
Talk about the PlayStation Portal.
your bathroom, your bedroom,
right.
your laundry room,
The garage.
basically your house.
Yeah. I think the deciding factor of whether I'm going to keep this thing is when I get it, I'm going to take it to your house, hook it up to your Wi-Fi, and we're going to test it, put it through its hurdles.
Sure. Why would my Wi-Fi be any different? Oh, to play your PlayStation.
Play
right?
mine, yeah, from your house. And see how that
I'm
works. And then you can be the judge. You can tell me if I'm a liar. You can tell me if I'm a liar. Or you'll be able to say, okay, this thing's great. I might need one now.
I might say that, but I still think it's garbage. For the price range, it is garbage.
We'll have to see. Only time will tell.
You're going to be the only kid on the block with one.
I 100% probably will be.
Yeah. You're going to be the Sega Saturn kid.
Oh, man. I had a friend who was the Sega Saturn kid. I used to roast him all the time. He was one of my close friends, too. That was a bad friend.
You still are.
I am. All right, that's it. I'm going to call the show. It's Thursday Night Football tonight. Opening night of the NFL season. I'm going to go eat some food, watch some football, and...
Has the game already started?
Yeah, it started at 7:20, I think, maybe.
Okay.
But that's all right.
That's why our viewership's down.
Yeah. Well, we had a lot of we had a lot
and
of,
only that.
We had a lot of that's it too. We had a lot of views last podcast, so maybe our new format will get people to stick around.
Yeah, or at least long enough to hear the news.
Yeah, maybe. All right, everyone. Well, hopefully we got some more news. We'll have. I bet you Rebels' views on Starfield are going to change by the next podcast. So make sure you stay tuned. So he turns his spaceship into 180 and is gushing over Starfield next week.
Maybe. I've yet to build a spaceship. I ain't got the money for it.
Oh,
so
boy.
Maybe I'll build one. I'll be like, this is the best game ever.
Donate to his spaceship fund.
I built a brick, and it's awesome.
All right, everyone. That is going to be a podcast for this week. Tune in next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'm your host, Fusion64 for Rebel Blood 80. We will see you guys and gals and they thems next week.
Adios.
Later.